The room smelled faintly of recycled air and fresh ink from the projector's cartridge. It was a normal academy morning in the Galactic Warfare History Hall, until the first slide appeared. Cadets shuffled in, young recruits in their pressed uniforms, still carrying the sleepy heaviness of pre-dawn drills. Captain Varren, the instructor, stood beside the projector console, his scarred hands clasped behind his back. Today, he began in his gravelly voice, "We study the pivotal engagements of the Virelian front." His gaze swept across the room until it paused on the lone human in the back, Lieutenant Candidate Mira Halloway. Most cadets avoided looking at her. Some still whispered about how she had been allowed into the advanced course so young, barely 20. No combat scars, too fresh-faced. In the mess hall she'd heard it all. Too young to kill, they'd muttered. Captain Varren tapped the console. The lights dimmed. The first slide appeared. An archival image, grainy but unmistakable. A young soldier in scorched battle armor, standing amid the rubble of a burning city. The helmet was tucked under one arm, revealing that same face now sitting quietly in the back row. Mira. The whispering began immediately. That can't be her. She's too young. That picture's from 10 years ago. Captain Varren raised a hand for silence. This, he said, gesturing to the projection, is the soldier who ended the siege of Drevis. At the time she was 14. Gasps rippled through the room. One cadet let out a disbelieving laugh. Mira didn't flinch. She just stared at the floor, her jaw set. He advanced the slides. Each image showed moments the galaxy had not forgotten, except apparently the people in this room. Mira crouched behind a shattered barricade, her rifle spitting fire into the advancing Virelian troops. Mira pulling a wounded officer twice her size from the debris of a collapsing wall. Mira standing on the command platform of a captured enemy transport, the human flag raised high above it. The silence in the hall deepened. "You were told she was too young to kill," Varren said. "What you weren't told was that she was too young to be there at all. She wasn't enlisted. She wasn't trained. She was just there when the world burned around her." Mira's voice was quiet, but it carried. "I wasn't a soldier. I just didn't want to die in someone else's story." The captain nodded. Her actions forced the enemy retreat. Without her, Drevis would have fallen. From the front row, a Zolnari cadet raised a trembling hand. "Sir, how did a child—" "That," Varren interrupted, "is the point of this lesson. The galaxy underestimates humans, and humans underestimate themselves, until there's no other choice." The projector hummed as the final slide flickered into place. It was a close-up of Mira's face that day, blood on her cheek, eyes sharp, mouth set in defiance. The same eyes now watching them, calm and unreadable. "Dismissed," Varren said. "Except for you, Cadet Halloway. Stay." As the others filed out, glancing at her like she was some relic from a war museum, Mira folded her arms. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did," Varren replied. "Because they'll need to remember what you've done before they understand what you're capable of doing again." Mira looked at the empty seats, the exit door swinging shut. "Then they'd better learn fast." Later that day, the Academy's simulation deck echoed with the pounding of boots and the hiss of atmospheric vents. The cadets from that morning's lecture were about to face their first full-scale combat simulation, and Mira was in their squad. Some kept their distance. Others eyed her like she was a walking cheat code. But when the simulation began, the pretense dissolved. The enemy AI dropped in hard, fast, and with no mercy. "Fall back," barked the squad leader, a towering Durox male who clearly didn't believe the morning's history lesson. Mira ignored him. She darted forward, sliding behind a barrier as plasma bolts chewed into it. Her hands moved with muscle memory older than half the squad's service records. "She's going to get herself killed," someone shouted. "Or win this for us," muttered another. Within minutes, she was in the thick of it, flanking the AI units, using cover the way she'd learnt on real battlefields, not in training sims. She didn't just shoot. She moved like a predator that already knew where its prey would run. At one point, she vaulted over a barricade, landing behind an enemy trooper and disabling it with 2 precise shots before it could turn. By the end of the exercise, the scoreboard spoke for itself. Mira had accounted for more than half the squad's kills. The rest were still catching their breath. The Duroc squad leader approached, his earlier skepticism gone. "Where'd you learn to fight like that?" Mira wiped the training dust from her gloves. "Outside the sim. In places where you don't get to hit reset." That night, word spread through the academy. The human girl wasn't just a name in a history slideshow, she was the real thing. The kind of soldier you didn't mock, and definitely didn't underestimate.